Welcome to The Good Pod, where today we're talking about The Good Wife, Season 2, Episode 1, Taking Control. Over in Season 2, we do 2-word titles now. I am one of your hosts, Jason Reed. With me is my co-host, the one, the only, Larissa Esparza. Larissa, you good?
I don't know who Larissa Esparza is, but Marissa Garza's good. Also, don't make me shove you for no reason.
Oh my gosh, that was intense. That was so intense. Hey, we're here. Season 2.
We're here. Season 2. 2-word titles.
Season
Would be
2.
great if I updated our document to reflect that, but way to go. Way to get that
Yeah.
on your mind.
Listen, Season 2, we have... We proved that we were a success in Season 1. And
Yes.
now we get to come back in Season 2 with new stars. We got more money to hire more people, apparently, both in the show.
Not we, the pod.
Not us. Both in the
show.
show and in the firm. So listen, it's a brand new start. It's a brand new day, Season 2.
Yes.
Marissa, before we get too deep into the episode, I want to remind our lovely listeners / watchers how they can help out our little podcast that you can do all sorts of things to support us. Free, easy ways. No matter where you're listening, no matter where you're watching, there's always some type of rating system. So whether it's watching on YouTube and hitting that thumbs up button, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please rate us 5 stars. Apple, you can leave us a written review. We really, 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 really love those. If you want to also just communicate with us, talk about upcoming episodes, past episodes, you can always email us at thegoodpodfeedback@gmail.com. Yeah, so we would love to hear from you. We want to really make this an interactive podcast. So if you got any thoughts, questions, comments, throw them our way.
Yeah, and I think we turned on the fancy new, semi-new, the fancy thing. I don't know. On Spotify, you can leave comments. Mm-hmm. So if you would like to leave comments there, that is a place to communicate with us as well. And I think in Season 2, Jason, you might be able to watch us on video on Spotify. I think that is the plan. So let us know how we, if it's all working, let us know that you can see us. That would be great. We just want to make sure that, we are where you are. So hopefully everything works out. And Elsbeth is running, so you can catch our coverage of that here as well.
Yeah. Fun times. Marissa, here we are, Season 2. Let's dive in. Let's talk about our new normal, our new reality of Season 2.
Do you have your iPad? Would you like to do a 360 review of the podcast before we get started?
Man, we're just getting iPads like Oprah out here. You get an iPad. You get an iPad. I mean, this is back in the day when iPads were like,
iPads were expensive.
Yeah, I mean,
they still are,
yeah,
but like
expensive. But
it was like an elite few that had them, especially at work. Yeah. Well, let's get into it. We're just going to talk this one through from start to finish because it kind of just picks up right where we left off. Last time we had seen Peter's press conference. Will had called Alicia and was like, "Hey, yo, I'm feeling this." And she's like, "Yeah, show me the plan. We need parent-teacher conferences. We don't need romance. Let me know how we're going to do this." And so this time we see kind of like a rerun of that. And we see that Eli ends up taking Alicia's phone and has Alicia's phone while she goes up on the stage. And Will calls a second time. And I just have to say, like, this is great writing and great writing, and acting in general. But we have, as an audience, been so like ready for this moment to happen. And so he calls again and he's like, "Okay, yeah, you're right. I'm just going to write it off. We're not going to do this. Like, ignore it, whatever." And then he calls again. And this is when the payoff comes as like an audience member, because it's like, you know what my plan is? My plan is I love you. I've loved you since Georgetown. We'll figure out a plan. So there's a lot to discuss in that. And the fact that Eli sees that these calls are coming in and takes it under his purview as campaign manager to delete the "I love you" voice message and leave the "let's forget about this" one. What were your thoughts through all this, Jason?
First of all, dastardly Eli, blocking love.
I know.
I had can I just share with you a weird, random thought that I had
always
when thinking about The Good Wife? I was thinking about our podcast today, and I was just going down the list, like, hey, what's happening on this episode? What's going on? I thought about Eli. I said, you know who Eli should play? who Eli is like, in my mind, the spitting image of
Who?
Gargamel from Smurfs. You know, the wizard from Smurfs.
Yes.
I feel
I
like,
love that you know the Smurfs.
of course, who doesn't? I feel like Alan Cumming would be a perfect Gargamel.
He would be a
Put a bald cap on him. Like, I think Gargamel has like that ring around his
Yep,
head.
yep, because he's like a monk or whatever. Like,
I
he's
guess,
supposed to
like,
be.
is
He's
that
supposed to be.
is that official canon that
At least it
Gargamel is a
was in
monk?
my head. It's my
Okay.
head is the official canon for me.
I thought he was some like weird cave dweller that lived in the forest and was sick of those stupid Smurfs
Well,
in his
yeah, and he
forest.
lived like a monk's life. So he had the monk haircut. That's what I did
Yeah,
because at
I
the same
guess.
time I was watching Smurfs, not the same time, but there was that cathedral book that was everywhere, and so I was really into learning about cathedrals. Anyway, this is another story for another day.
Oh my god.
Anyway, continue on with your Alan
No,
Cumming as
but
Gargamel.
literally, I don't know why the thought popped in my head. I'm looking at Alan Cumming in my mind because I'm literally just thinking about it, like, oh my god, he would be a perfect Gargamel. It's just the inner thoughts that Jason has, you know, throughout the
Yeah,
day as he's thinking.
I
I
can
just wanted
see.
to clue you and the audience in to the random weird thoughts that pop in my head on the daily. But besides that, let's dive back into it now. Okay,
Yeah,
you complimented the writing.
I did.
I didn't love the writing. I
Oh,
didn't
tell me
I didn't
why.
love the, and if you don't want to go with this plan, just
Well,
totally
sure.
ignore this phone call and we'll just pretend it never happened. Who says that and then goes with that plan later? I'm just like, oh well, she didn't say anything, so I guess never mind. No, that's ridiculous.
Well, I
I
agree
understand
with
we need
I
it.
agree.
Yeah, I understand it's a TV show and we need this kind of nonsense because you know the Eli deleting the voicemail has to have a big consequence because it's going to stop this once in a lifetime love story because Will put this condition on it of if you don't want to go, if you don't want to plan with me, if you don't want to do this thing, just totally ignore everything I said. We won't talk about it. We'll just pretend like it never happened. I was like, okay.
Well, and this can like really show why "Don't Ask, Don't Tell" was not a great policy for the United States military because obviously, as you can tell, that's basically what he said to Alicia, right? Like,
Yeah.
don't ask me about it. Don't say anything about it if you don't think. And it's awkward and weird AF between them
Yeah.
as they go on afterwards. And this is like neither of them can be their full selves at work, and they're just in this weird
Yeah.
awkward time when about the writing. I'm more of a story plots. The
Yeah.
words if you don't like this
Yeah, that was a
were
weird
not
throw
good.
in. That was like a weird throw in
Yeah,
at the end. But yes, everything else was great. I mean, listen, you know, he you just see the indecision on his face, and listen, he's been drinking some super fancy wine that
out
his
of a mug.
25-year-old girlfriend gave him. So he's got some
Mm-hmm.
liquid courage in him. He's just like basically he's like, you know what, F it. Like here, like you said, here's the plan. I love you. Like, oh, we're dropping L bombs. Loved you since
Yeah, I
Georgetown.
know.
It's like I don't have a plan. Like I mean, she asked you for a plan. Like, he's like, we'll get together and we'll make a plan. I was like, okay, well, okay. And then he threw in the yeah. And by the way, if you're not into it, just forget it ever happened. No, I don't think anyone could ever forget that ever happened. If you got that voicemail, we would at least have to have
Oh
a conversation.
no.
So
I
that
mean,
part of it
even
was like,
if I got the first one, I would
yeah.
want to have a conversation.
But then evil Eli just has to, you know, butt in and do what I guess, you know, is do or die
Okay,
for Eli. Eli's like,
no,
this is not good.
it's also bad data management on the fact of Alicia because she is a lawyer. She
Uh-huh.
should have her phone password protected because it could have sensitive information on it. And the fact that like
Were there
it's just
passwords back then?
there.
Were there passwords
It
on
was
the blueberries?
BlackBerry. There
On the
was
blue?
yeah.
Let's say blue.
Yeah,
I
on the
said blueberries.
blueberries. Yeah, on the
On
blueberries.
blackberries.
There was. Yeah.
Okay, I never had a BlackBerry. I was not a BlackBerry person. It was, I guess, before my time.
I wasn't, but I used one. I borrowed one on a trip for an international thing. And yeah, you can like do that. Plus, BlackBerry's whole thing was business and being like
Mm.
compliant and all of that. So the fact that Eli was able to listen to this voicemail, first of all, if the phone's not locked, that's one thing. But do you remember having to put in your password to listen to your voicemail? Like,
Yeah. I mean,
That was the thing that could have happened here.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, but I guess the phone was like literally active, so it wasn't like it was on a lock screen or anything. So
Sure.
I guess you could excuse it that way. I just love the trope in TV shows of these these pictures on the phone, delete voicemail. I mean,
Yeah.
no
So
actual
true.
thing ever does that. So I
So
love
true to
when
life.
shows make up their own, operating system of how phone shows texts and shows options. I love that type of stuff. But yeah, just diabolical from Eli. I mean, he really, we know Eli will do anything to get the job done, but he really took a heel turn here. Just get in the way of love.
Well, it's all systems go now for him, right? Like he doesn't have to hold back, and so he's going to do what he needs to do.
Yeah.
A week later, a Colorado politician is stepping down because he was unfaithful to his wife. And Alicia's like really into watching this on the news. Like she's like watching it. Peter comes in. It's like, hey, babe, I gotta go give a speech at the police officer's place. I forget the name of it. Whatever. I gotta go give a speech. And Alicia says to him, like, this is not us.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I
yeah.
thought that was weird.
Well, I mean, okay. So Peter like stops outside her room and he hears the news that she's watching. He's like, oh damn. Like just when I thought things are gonna go back to normal, this scandal had to come in and just remind everyone about corruption and scandal and like he knows he knows probably what Alicia's thinking. So like, I mean he goes and he's like, I mean he's like tough, huh? Like basically just like looks at the TV screen like, oh, brings up some bad memories, huh? Because I mean, this is where Alicia
Like
was.
2 days ago. Like it's not.
Well, I mean, not even
I
two
mean,
days ago,
okay,
like
it's been
a
like a
year
week.
ago or something,
Yeah,
however long
that's
it
true.
was.
That's true.
So I mean, this is bringing up bad memories. So it's like Peter is kind of like, I don't know how to like talk about this, and so Alicia can pick up that uncomfortableness that he's feeling because that. And she lets him off the hook, kind of. She's like, Peter, they're not us. Like we are not them. They are not us. Like, don't compare us or anything. Like, she kind of really. I
She
think
throws
Alicia's in.
him a bone,
Yeah,
basically.
and I would like to talk more about the good wifeness of Alicia in the finale and now the premiere. I think I probably said this on the last podcast, but I really enjoyed the full circleness of that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Just we're back to being the good wife, and then in this episode we're again seeing another good wife that was in Alicia's place. This new good wife. It's just interesting to see how it's kind of a cyclical thing. Like it's another good wife in the
It's
news.
almost as if there's like a system. It may be patriarchy.
Mm-hmm.
It may be a system that puts women in these situations
It's
where
just
they
weird
have
how
to be a good wife.
it's weird how often this comes up.
I don't know. I don't know. It's a theory. It's a theory. Don't
It's like,
quote me on
it's
it.
like a
I don't know.
pattern that just keeps repeating and
Yeah.
repeating.
There I
It's
don't
one of those
know if
anything
there's
we can do to
anything
stop
to
it.
it.
Yeah,
Oh boy. Yeah,
who
just
knows?
hmm.
Who knows what will ever figure that
Peter
out?
we're still working on it. Peter says to Alicia before he leaves, like, hey, I have a free hour. I want to see you in court. And she's like, nah, it's a status thing. Like, don't waste your time. It's okay. Don't do it.
Want to see you work, baby. Like, give a break.
Yeah, I know.
I want to see you at your little job. I want to. It's as if she's working at like a Burger King and he wants to come and just and mess with her and have her take his order or something. I just want to see you at your little job. I think it'd be so fun. Peter, I am a professional and I don't need family
Yes.
visitors at work. Okay.
Yeah. No, thank you. No, thank you. So Alicia goes into court for a status hearing, and we meet a new judge, Judge Magic. What do you think of this guy?
Listen, he's a ornery fella, first of all, and listen, we like to do our guest star research here. Judge Magic,
Mm-hmm.
not not a terribly famous actor, but this actor's name is Chris Sarandon, who,
Ooh.
get this, ladies and gentlemen, is the origin man of the Sarandon in Susan Sarandon's name. He was her
The
first husband.
origin man.
The Origin Man from Sarandon. He's the Sarandon from Susan Sarandon.
So if you are the first spouse of someone, you are their
The
origin,
Origin
like
Man.
if for a woman,
If you keep the
yeah.
name, like if only if you keep the name, like some people may wonder, like where did Sarandon come from? That's like when you think about the name Sarandon, it's like that is just a unique individual name. Sarandon. Like think about
So if
Sarandon.
she kept her maiden name, then her father would be the origin
Her
of her
father
last
would be the
name.
Origin Man. Correct. Yes. You got to see.
Oh,
You
I'm
picked it
learning
up
so
fast. You
much.
picked it
I'm
up fast,
learning
Marissa.
so much. Either,
Yeah.
like a woman could have like no say in her own name, though.
Well, she can, but like
Okay.
it comes from
Okay.
something. Like if the woman keeps the maiden name, like she probably got it from her dad. I mean, if she got it from her mom, then it will be the Origin Woman. I mean, it's not a strictly male thing.
Copy.
Last names come from somewhere, Marissa. Where did Garza come from? Your dad, right?
Yeah, but we're also, it means heron in Spanish, like blue heron. So we are named after
What?
birds.
Okay.
Yeah.
But your dad had that name and he gave it to
He
you.
does.
See?
Yes, he
Your
does.
dad's the Origin Man. Now,
Oh
if Mama
boy.
Garza was the Garza, that'd
Who's
be
your
the
origin person? Your father?
no,
Is
no. My
see, you
origin
don't have
person
an
is my
origin
mother.
person.
Mine is my
Oh,
mother. See?
see?
So
Okay. All
my
right.
origin, I have an origin woman. That's my
See,
origin.
okay. I
See?
like that.
See?
Okay. I
There you
can get
go.
on. I
There
can
you
get on
go.
board with
It's a
this.
great
I can get on
example.
board with this. I
So I'm
like it.
saying. So I'm saying. But I saw, he's not a super famous guy. I just thought it was interesting when I was doing my research. Like, oh, this is where Susan Sarandon got the Sarandon in her name. I had just thought Sarandon was her maiden name, but listen, you learn something new every day. Just thought it'd be interesting
It's
to bring
true.
up.
It's true. No,
Yep.
and also thank you for teaching me the origins of origin
You're welcome,
people.
Marissa. You're welcome. Sometimes you just need a man to explain things to you.
Sometimes I do. So Alicia's in court for like this like a really like routine thing. Judge Magic is like, you forgot to include court costs in this, so go like revise this. Meanwhile, like she has this conversation with the lady, the other attorney, and is like, what's up with him? And she says, you have more Google search or Google results than he does, so he doesn't like you. So he's
That
one
was
of those.
interesting.
Yeah, he's one of those. But meanwhile, someone else comes, like the next case comes up to the court, and basically this guy wants to defend himself. His business partner was murdered. He's being accused of murdering his business partner, and this does not seem like a good idea to anyone. So the judge says, "Hey, Alicia, are you part of the defense? Something or other, whatever." And she's like, "Yeah, I am." And he's like, "Great, you are now going to advise this guy on his defense."
Now, legal experts, come at
I
us.
don't know how that
Come
could
at us.
happen.
Let us know if this is a real thing that could happen. I kind of doubt it. I feel like if someone says, I want to defend myself, there's not much
Yeah.
you can do to stop that. I mean, listen, there's a lot that we're going to question Judge Magic on in this
Oh,
episode.
yeah. Yeah,
There's
yeah.
some stuff that he probably can't do, shouldn't say. But I feel like if someone says I want to defend myself, you got to let them. And I'm not sure a judge can just say, "Hey, you're his counsel now." I'm not sure that's a thing. So any legal experts out there, just let us know if we're tripping, if this is a thing or not, because it seemed real fishy and weird to me. I just love Alicia's like, no, like I can't do this. Like I have another thing to do, and he's like, who's a judge? Oh, that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, my court takes precedence over him. I'm like, is that like? I'm learning so much about the legal system right now. I didn't know that one court took precedence over the other, and this guy can just tell you what to do. So it was quite a scene, quite a scene.
Yeah. Well, and then of course, Matan is in there in the court and
He's
is
loving
like,
it.
"Hey, what do you think about this?" And he's like, "The people are content.
He is loving
We're
it.
good
He's
with
like,
this. Go
yes,
for it."
let's go, let's go. Matata's just kind of shit-eating grin on his face. He knows how irked Alicia's going to be with this.
Well, and Alicia is in court needing to get to a staff meeting. Like she's very concerned if she's going to make it on time because there's big news at the firm. The first time we see the firm in season 2, it's suddenly full of people. We've got more people. We've got a new partner by the name of Derek Bond. Derek is played by Michael Early, who you may know from
Michael
the
Ealy,
barbershop.
Mr. Ealy.
Oh, Ely. I wasn't reading. Yeah, Michael Ealy. Thank you.
So I'll say this: I was super shocked that Michael Ealy is here because listeners, Marissa, watchers, everyone, I had no recollection of Michael Ealy in this show. I don't know where my memory of The Good Wife went, but it is completely wiped out because I was like, Michael Ealy's in the show and he's a partner now. Like that will probably tell you how long Michael Ealy sticks around, which I'm not sure is a long time. We'll see how that goes. But I was shocked that he was here. But listen, I like Michael Ealy. He's a big presence in the Black community. He's in all the Black stuff. Barbershop, Think Like a Man. Also part of the Fast and Furious franchise. One of the only people that has not been brought back in the Fast and Furious sequels. He was in Too Fast, Too Furious as one of the. It's just kind of like a no-name racer. He wasn't a huge part of the movie, but he was in the beginning sequence of the race, and so it's just so funny, like to have him pop up here. And so yeah, I had no idea he was popping up, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. I have no memory of this, but yeah, we're now in a big merger. It feels like we went from season finale to we're laying off people left and right, and then a week later we're flush with cash again. Like what?
And it was like so weird because like Diane's like trying to like tell the story, but like the camera's like not really following her. We're trying to like see Alicia, the vibes between Alicia and Will, and see who this Derek Bond guy is. And she's just like, yeah, I was at dinner, and then this guy like came over and talked to me, and his name kept coming up, and I was like, and then he's here. It was like, yeah, abracadabra. We have a new partner. And I will say, I do not remember him either on this show. However, this is the start, I think, of like a thesis of the franchise as a whole. Like this is the start of Black leadership in this firm.
Yeah.
And that is something that continues throughout, spoilers, it continues throughout The Good Wife and The Good Fight. And so how this is portrayed and how this comes in is really interesting to me because Derek Bond is a Black lawyer, but he comes in with like, let's have iPads. Let's do 360 reviews. Let's move our offices inside and give people, which are all like, I'm going to say, for lack of a better term, like they are kind of like white ideas. Like they're like, it's not white ideas, not white ideas, but like they're super corporate-y. Like I didn't know what to say, but they're like super like corporate-y. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's not like,
yes, yeah, I get
like,
it. I get it.
I didn't know how to say it, but that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, I guess. Here's the thing about Derek Bond, who, first of all, kick-ass name. Derek Bond.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna have a name, have it be Derek Bond, because that's hot and sexy and cool. So yeah, he brings in all these ideas, and there's nothing you hate more than that new coworker that comes in.
Right.
And just wants to do things so much better than you. Have so many great ideas. It's so annoying. And we see that throughout the episode where he's coming with these ideas like, oh, I think we should have peer review. I think he's like, in my old firm, I had took an interior office because I wanted to be among my my people. It's like,
among
all right,
the people.
It's like, all right, bro. Like, we get it.
Well, I just feel
You're
like
hot shit. We understand. We get it.
Like he didn't come in like Julius with like, we need equity in equity representation within the firm. Like he came in with like all of these, and the writers put him in that annoying character type of position, which I hope if they're looking back, they might have done it differently. That's all I'm trying to say there is like,
I actually kind of like it, right? I like that as a Black man, he's come into this law firm that it was majority white.
Yeah.
By the way,
still is.
Probably. I mean, we saw a lot of Black people in the area, which I guess Derek brought over from his firm. And it's like, but where is Julius? Okay, like, can we only have one at a time? Like, can we only have one main Black lawyer in the show at a time? I think it'd be nice to have Julius also in the picture around. He is equity partner, but okay, I digress.
I digress. We're not there yet. We're not there.
Yeah, I digress. But and I think it is nice that this Black man is coming in and showing up Will and Diane being like, I do think I run a much tighter ship. I know how to do things better. So I
Yeah.
think it's good in that way. But yeah, and listen, you mentioned it, but this is the start of a lot of changes that Lockhart Gardner will go through. Um, this won't be the
And the,
first. This won't be the first change, and it will be far from the last. So there's, from here to the end of the series, there's a lot of changing hands in this firm of ownership and naming. So it's going to
and
be interesting.
like education on different methodologies
Yeah.
and ways of running things and things like this. So Derek's coming in with the Silicon Valley version of lawyering, basically,
Well,
of like
it's kind of the hot,
we're
new, fresh, young. I mean,
yeah.
there's a younger guy. I think instead of corporate, I think it would be like younger, like fresher.
I could Jason, I could be having a bias based on my life experience at this moment.
Maybe.
So I will I
I
will own up to that.
I think it's less of a race thing. It's more of a generational thing. Like
Yeah.
Derek is
I could just
yeah, Derek's
be like,
younger
don't do
than
this to this guy. Do not make him be corporate. Like, don't
yeah.
do it.
I mean, he's definitely younger than Diane. I think he's even younger than Will, who I think Will is probably also like this young. I was
Yeah.
the young hot shot that thought he knew better a time ago. Maybe Will's now feeling his age, and that's also part of what's gnawing at Will a little bit.
Well, he is the 16th most eligible bachelor in the city of
Ooh, yeah.
Chicago.
So that's interesting. And, I kind of wish they would have made the time jump like a month instead of a week because it feels like too
Yeah.
much has happened in a week. Like, Will's the most
Yeah.
16th eligible bachelor. We got a new partner all of a sudden. I do wonder if I would have loved like if we had heard within the time jump that now that Will and Diane are flush with this new cash and capital, maybe they tried to get Carrie back, and Carrie's like, "Nah, bro. Like
That would have been
you
great.
made your decision,
Yeah.
bro. Like I'm over here now, making less money and being happy about it.
The
Like,
bridge is burned.
yeah, the British. I would have loved that, but yeah, I'm getting off on all sorts of tangents. But Derek Bond, I think it's a younger
Yeah.
thing. Like he's got the iPads popping
Okay.
out. He's got the new workflow space thing. It's just kind of a young mentality. Like I want to be among my people. I want to show them that I'm no better than them. I'm on
Well,
their
and this
level.
this was the time where like there would be news reports about like the Google campus and like the
Yeah.
fact that you could like play games and do your laundry. And at the time everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool." And now looking back at it, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, they're trapping you at work so you can never leave because you can like do your laundry there." So, yeah, it was definitely I could see that. I could see it being
Yeah, it's
a
like
younger
it's
thing.
a new age. It's a new technological
Yeah.
age with all the iPads and stuff. I'm sure that Will and Dan are like, we write things on paper. I don't know what these electronic doodads are
It's
for.
called a legal
Yeah,
pad
yeah.
for
Never
a
heard of it,
reason.
buddy. A lot less expensive than these little doodad iPads you got going on. But listen,
Well, this is not yeah.
Will's happy because he can get his season tickets back. Okay,
No, he
that's what
has to
he's
wait a
all
week
about.
though.
Yeah, gotta
He
wait
has to wait
a
a
polite
polite
week.
week.
Yeah, we'll wait a polite week. Thanks, Diane. Thanks.
Well, this isn't the only change in the office. Well, there's definitely more people. They're also all up on the Colorado story, talking about things, but also watching themselves around Alicia to
Ugh,
making sure they don't step on any toes.
awkward.
But oh, one thing that hasn't changed is that Eli still is just popping up in Alicia's office. But Alicia got rid of her couch in a week. She decided no more couch, and Eli's like, "This, I don't even know who you are anymore."
New
But
season, we up the
yeah.
budget now. I'm getting a better couch.
He's there to kind of just ask Alicia, like, hey, do you know who a tracker is? Not Tracker on CBS.
Dun, dun, dun. One of my favorite
Different
shows coming
tracker.
back. Same week as Elspeth, I think.
Oh, competition. Oh, they're on the same show or on the same network.
Yeah.
They can't be competition. But anywho,
Maybe we can
political
hire Coulter
trackers
Shaw.
will.
Maybe we can hire Coulter Shaw, aka the tracker, to find Julius because I'm wondering where he at.
Oh, I mean, he was on Colbert and he did find stuff. So I know he can do it. So political trackers go and find like the opposition, say something to catch them off guard, tape it. Think like your TMZ, but for like politics. And because the story is coming up in the news with the Colorado situation, Eli is like, Childs has got to have somebody on you. Like, just be aware of this. Just smile and move on. And Eli, because he listened on the freaking phone, sees Will come down the stairs and is like, everything good? Are we good here? She's like, yeah, we're great. So
Everything,
things are weird.
everything good. You're not doing any, you haven't had any talks, have you? I mean, I just want to be like, so there was no mention of any like weird voicemails or anything, huh? Because that'd be weird, right?
You know, another thing that happens in politics, voicemail. Do you have any of those that were weird lately? Anything you want to talk about?
I just like how
I don't even like.
he sees Alicia seeing Will. He's like, oh crap! Like this is
Yeah,
gonna be annoying.
the life of Eli. Because do you see like back in the DA's office, which is also like super huge now? They've got a bunch of people, and Pedro's in charge. Pedro's running the meeting, assigning people to places, asking about the court case with Mr. Sally, who's representing himself, and Matan's on it, but Childs puts Carrie in a second chair. So making a little bit
Yeah,
of a move here.
I think this was like an intentional like way to show the differences between Lockhart Gardner and the DA's office. The DA's office is a lot of chaos. Everyone's kind of all over the place. There are no iPads around here. They got to share papers because there's not enough materials to go around. I think it's to show the dichotomy of like, the big fancy law firm and the DA's office at the bottom of the barrel. Like we don't have enough
Money and
funding.
state funded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, to see Pedro running stuff. It's great. He's Child's little assistant. Gotta love that. And just Child's Titus Welliver, who plays Childs, is just the perfect villain character. He just has
Yeah.
that essence. Like Alan Cumming has that Gargamel essence. Titus Welliver has that just villain essence. He's got that look on his face. It's interesting because Titus Welliver also plays Bosch, who is like,
Yep.
this detective guy who's kind of like not more of an anti-hero than a villain, but he just has that stone face of like an evil guy. Because he, as soon as he hears that Alicia is on this case, he's like, let's get Carrie on it because he can really mess with her. He's just looking to mess with Alicia in any way possible to get back at Peter, I guess. And I just love the indignation of Matan, like, what do you mean? Like, you gonna put on my case? That's not cool. Not cool. Matan is such a little baby this whole episode. It was so fantastic.
I do love when he gives Carrie the file. It's like, you're caught up.
Yeah,
Like,
this is it.
this is me catching you up.
Yeah.
This is like, I think that's how Carrie should be treated at any firm that he's at. He's just like, that's
Little
how he is.
underling.
Yeah. Well, back in court, we have the case of Vance Sally. Yeah. Vance Sally, who's accused of murdering his business partner, yet determined to represent himself. And he just is objecting all of the time. He must have like learned from or watched the episode where Will was asking for exceptions and rulings on objections, because he was definitely doing that all of the time. I don't know, Jason, if you heard, but he runs a website called opensourcefind.com.
What?
Did you know about that?
No way. I would not have known at all. It's not like he doesn't say anything about it. It's not like he doesn't say it at every chance he can get. Like, I had no idea. Opensourcefind.com. But
And Alicia's, yeah.
I love the little wave that Carrie gives Alicia
Yeah.
when he opened this scene. He's like, "Hey, here I am, your worst nightmare." And Alicia's just like, give it a rest. Like, she just literally rolls her eyes at him. Like, I love the adversarial relationship they're gonna have now. It's such a great
like,
idea.
she's like, first of all, I've been assigned to this case by this judge. Second of all, now I'm working with this guy who wants to defend himself, has no legal acumen at all, and now Carrie's here. Oy, oy, oy.
Yeah,
what
it's a conundrum she's gotten herself into for sure.
Well, and she goes to talk about the case with Diane. She's like, I think that the government killed this guy? No, but I really don't have anything else to go on, except for there was this one lady named Anya. And again, they're saying like, we're trying to limit Kalinda's hours because something. I'm like, you just literally gave everyone an iPad. But anyhow, Bond comes in and listens to this conversation. It's like, okay, we can give her half a day to find something to throw on this case.
He doesn't just come in. He's already there for some reason. Like, we didn't even know he's in the room. So he's like, so what's your strategy? Like, oh, where the hell did you come from? Why are you just sitting in here the whole time? But yeah, and this is weird. he's kind of a weird guy. He's an interesting gentleman.
He's definitely takes much more of a managerial like approach
Mm-hmm.
to running a law firm, where I think Will and Diane are like, I will show you, I still want to be in the game.
Will
Like
and
I still want to play.
Will and
And
Diane, Will and Diane are like vibes. They're vibes,
there's a
bosses,
lot of trust
managers.
between them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Derek is more of a supervisorial person.
Yes.
Like you said, managerial. He's very official. He's very like by the book. But it's an interesting clash of styles, which I think might lead to some interesting plot lines down the road.
Agreed. So Kalinda comes in. She's like, "Hey, what do you need? Hey, you got half a day to kind of like prove if the government killed this guy." She's like, "On it." So she goes
She's like,
to,
what? What do you mean? She's like, all right, cool.
yeah, cool,
Yeah.
cool. I'll go to Anya's apartment. Walks with Alicia down to her office and has to have like a little chit chat, has to get the tea. Like, hey, did you talk to Will? Voicemails don't count. You should like go talk to him, which is a
Yeah.
solid case.
I mean, because Kalinda witnesses the kind of coldness between Will and Alicia, and it's just such a funny uh thing because Will's like, if you don't say anything, we'll just drop it. And then he wants to act like a little baby every time he sees her now and doesn't want to like have any fun chit chat anymore. It's all super official with him. I thought nothing was gonna change. Will, I thought we were gonna be cool still, but you act like you act like you butthurt because I didn't return your call. Just like if we just talk to each other, people, like
Yeah,
things will be a lot better.
yeah.
I know I said if you don't want to do this, you don't have to say anything. But I didn't think he was actually not going to say anything. The next day, I'd be like, so.
Did you get, at least the question of did you get my voicemail would have come up, I think.
Right. Like, you're just not going to, like, I know I said not to say anything, but you're just not going to say anything? like, nothing? You have nothing to say to that. Nothing to say to either voicemail message I left her. I left you 2 messages. I know I said don't say anything. I didn't really mean that. Like, let's at least talk about it.
Let me tell you what I meant by not saying anything.
Yeah.
I meant the absolute opposite of that.
Listen, I was drunk in the heat of the moment. Let's have a chit chat. Let's talk about it. Nothing. He's like Alicia, like this is like so official. I'm like, ugh.
Well, and then Alicia opens up her computer to this news story going on and on and on about Colorado, and there's this weird body language expert who talks about the feet. I was like, enough with the feet in this episode.
Mhm.
I could have done without it, but apparently where women place their feet and how they point their feet, or how people in general place their feet, is very important, can tell you a lot about relationships. And so they were saying that the Colorado good wife was pointing her feet out into the crowd, wanting to run away from her husband. Hillary Clinton, the OG good wife, probably not the OG. I
No.
mean, there's a lot of history
The
here,
most
but the
probably
most,
the most infamous good wife.
yeah,
Yeah.
she had her feet towards Bill, so that meant that their marriage could be reconciled. But Alicia had one foot towards the
Ooh.
crowd and one foot towards Peter, so she was given mixed messages. And I only bring this up because it comes up later, and it is still annoying for me.
Now tell me, you can if you already know, don't tell me. Do we
Hmm?
think that this Colorado good wife is going to come back, or is this
I
just
can't
like a?
remember.
I do wonder if like maybe the Colorado good wife is going to reach out to Alicia. Like I'm wondering if it's going to come up again.
Like a good wives club.
Yeah, maybe like, just for some advice on how to navigate things now. Because Alicia's the good wife before her. Like she's part of an alumni now of Good Wives. Maybe she got a text chain going on with her, Hillary, and Alicia. I don't know. I was
I
like,
would say, like, that's not something I think that would happen on The Good Wife, but I could see it happening on The Good Fight.
yeah,
Like I could see on The Good Fight there being like a text change with Hillary Clinton as
yeah.
well, and like Hillary like just sending these random
You
emails.
just see the messages pop up on the screen of like,
Yeah, but remember that meme of like Hillary like texting on the plane with her
vaguely.
sunglasses on,
Yeah,
and she's like,
it's like
that I feel like would get big play, but I don't remember what happens with
yeah. I just wonder if this
Colorado
is
Good
like a
Wife Lady.
if this is a one and done thing, or if this is going to be something that we're going to follow back up on at some point.
We'll have to find out. Eli wants to take control of the conversation around the election and start talking about Childs' divorce. And he's talking to Peter, and Peter's like, no, don't do it. They come after my family. And Eli's like, you don't understand. They're going to come after your family no matter what. I find this kind of annoying because Peter's still trying to pretend, A, like he didn't do anything, and B, like
I'm
he
just trying to protect my
is,
family, Eli. I have to
yeah,
protect them.
like,
I have to protect them from my own bullshit. Like, I'm a hero, Eli. Don't you understand? Like,
and Eli is like, yo, bro, I know. I am trying to help you in this situation. I'm trying to go on offense. I'm trying to get ahead of it. And he's like, Peter's like, just wait. And also, like, why am I here talking to the police? I should be talking to women. And I'm like, no, get him away from women. Like, we don't need this.
Women have to know how much I respect them. Get on my face, man. Get on my face.
Whatever. Kalinda is going on her search for Anya. And we have a interesting interaction here. She arrives at the apartment, and there's someone else at the apartment, the landlord, as she is told. And, Kalinda does her Kalinda thing, saying, hey, hi, Anya's my friend. And did she leave a forwarding rating address?
I've been locked out of the apartment. Is it possible you could let me in?
Yeah. So Kalinda.
Yeah.
It turns out that this guy, though, is the investigator from Bond's firm by the name of Blake Calomar. I didn't even know his last name. Thanks, Jason, for putting it in the notes.
Yeah. Listen, this guy is played by Scott Porter. No, I'm sorry. Scott Porter plays this guy. I don't know if I got that right or not. Scott Porter, listen, if you ever need a hunky white guy, Scott Porter's your guy. He was in Friday Night Lights. That's where he got his major fame. I think right now he's best known for Ginny in Georgia, which I hear is a hit with like the teens. I don't know.
Like with the G, Ginny?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a it's a Netflix show, I think. And he was
I think
also
so.
he was also on Heart of Dixie. So listen, need a hunky white guy to be unoffensive, call this guy. But listen, I know him. I honestly, I don't know where I know him from because I didn't watch any of these shows, but I know who Scott Porter is. I'm familiar with Scott Porter. I just don't know where I know him from. I think he's actually a friend of Rob Has a Podcast, so I think that's where I know him from as well. So yeah, he's a big fantasy football guy. I think that's also like where I've heard of him from before. But yeah, definitely recognizable. Once we got into the Blake and Kalinda interplay, I remembered this. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, yeah, he's calling her by the wrong name. They were adversarial. I vaguely remembered that once we started getting into it. I was like, oh yeah, this was a thing for a little bit. Yeah, there you go. I think I remember how it ends too. I'm just not, I was like, okay, I'm getting back into the spin of things here.
The memory has been unlocked.
Yeah, for real.
Alicia is like championing Kalinda. Wow, I just
Alicia.
shipped them in some way. Kalinda.
Somebody write me that fanfic right now. Send it to my desk. I will read it post haste. Ooh.
She's
I have a bad thought. Let's move on. Let's
she wants
get away from this.
Kalinda to do take care of the SIM card thing, and Blake's like, go ahead, it's your backyard. So there's this fake territory figuring out situation happening between the two of them.
Yeah, it's interesting because we kind of glossed over a little bit, but Blake basically scams Kalinda at the scene of this person's apartment. Like, oh yeah, I'm the landlord. Oh yeah, go ahead and do whatever you want. And obviously Kalinda's like, oh, someone's been here. So she gets back to the office and it's like, I found this phone in the trash that the landlord guy took out, but there's no SIM card in it. And wouldn't you know it, landlord guy comes in and he's been the other investigator all along. He's like, yeah, I got the SIM card, but I can't decipher it. And obviously, Diane's like, oh, cool, Blake, good job. And then Alicia steps in for her girl. It's like, hey, let's get Kalinda to work on this because she's worked for me before. Kalinda's like, that's right, great, better have my back. And so, of course, Diane's like, well, you guys can both work on it together. It's like, oh, great. So listen,
I'd be one of those.
Yeah, I think Kalinda is pissed off because she got. She's very annoyed at this point that this guy, has come on her territory.
To ruling the world. Yeah. Speaking of ruling the world, Eli goes to talk to Jackie. This was an interesting conversation. Jackie is so condescending. Like,
Mm.
I really feel for Eli, like throughout this entire episode, because he reminds me of Scar in the Lion King because he is surrounded by idiots. Like, I feel like he is just like everywhere he goes, he's running into like a brick wall. And here Jackie is like, "You're coming to me more than I would expect. Maybe we should be friends and you should keep in contact with me so that I can talk to you when you're confused." And Eli has to just sit there and be like, "Yeah, great idea. We should do that. That sounds great."
Jackie's like, "You poor dumb thing, need my help.
Yeah.
I will take pity on you and give you my assistance when you need it." I do want to circle back. Something I heard you say. You
Well,
you identify with Scar from the Lion King. You are your team
I'm
Scar.
I, I'm putting Eli in the role, like in the role of Scar for the one line, "I am surrounded by idiots."
Okay. I thought you were
I am
team
not Team
Scar.
Scar. I am not
Might
Team Scar.
I might have to hang up
No.
the call. Your team Scar. Now, I don't know if you are I don't know if you are like up on the Lion King lore recently, but they are trying to make Scar into a hero in the
Oh,
new
don't do that.
movie.
They've done that. They've done that with so many different like the whole Maleficent. Like,
Yeah.
we just have like a story? We just need a story, like a
Li-
regular.
Listen, folks. I mean, listen. We can go on tangents in this podcast. If you don't want to hear it, skip
We
30
are. This is
seconds.
quite
Fine. It's
tangenty.
fine.
This is what happens when
Um,
we record it.
in the new Lion King, like they're going to tell Scar's story. Apparently, Mufasa is like Scar's adoptive brother, and
Hmm.
Scar is the one that took Mufasa into his pride as like a brother. So now it's being spun as Mufasa came into Scar's family and kicked Scar
Jared,
out.
you
So now
can't
we
do
gotta feel
this.
bad for Scar.
No, you can't do this because James Earl Jones isn't here anymore, and he can't defend himself.
Listen,
So you
I
can't
don't
do
make I don't
this.
make the rules. They're probably just gonna AI his voice or something like they did with Darth Vader or something.
Oh no,
But yeah,
Jesus, no.
like let's not start making these villains into heroes, okay? Let's cut out and enough with the CG Disney movie stuff. I can't
Yeah,
stand
yeah,
it.
that,
Okay,
yeah.
I just had to go. I just had to address the Scar comment. I was like, yeah, don't tell me Marissa's team Scar. Like I don't.
I just remember that one line of his when he says, "I'm surrounded by idiots," and I feel like that is Eli's
I mean,
face the entire
listen, if you're
episode.
surrounded by idiots, maybe there's a reason for that. Like maybe you're the idiot too.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean,
Hey,
do some inner work, Eli.
yeah, there you go. All right,
Back
tangent
at
over. Tangent over. It's
back
safe
at
to come
court,
back now. It's safe to come back. Tangent's done. Come on.
we put Mr. Sally is doing his best, and Alicia is really doing her best to support this man in this
She
situation.
really wants to smack the
But
crap out of this guy. She really wants to because he
yeah,
is not. He, you know, if when this first happens, he's not listening to anything she's saying. She was like, "Please let me do this for you." He's like, "No, I can do it
I am
myself.
good at this.
Yeah, I got it."
Well, but then she points out that there were 48 blood samples, like little tents at the crime scene
Mhm.
with numbers on them. But when asked about it, the expert witness said there were only 47. Turns out that this was outside the crime scene, to which Baton argues so weakly, "It was by a toolbox, so maybe it's somebody else's. Like, it could be anyone's." And I was like, that was dumb. That was not a good move.
But
Yeah. But it turns out that this blood type is not the same as Mr. Solly. So it's like point Solly.
yeah, this like the judge is like, "Huh, that was actually pretty good." You know, it's not bad. I think he's starting to garner some respect for Alicia because I think
Yeah.
Magic knows this isn't Sally's doing. He knows that this is Alicia's, you know, badgering of Sally to do the correct thing. So he's like, okay, you got me there. I thought you were going to be a total S show, but you did something right. You did something well.
Yeah. He said, I haven't said this to anyone in a long time, but thank you.
Yeah.
Then we go back to the firm and we've got the Blake and Kalinda showdown with the made up words. I really think these were made up words. They're talking about like decoding the SIM card, and Blake is like, "You don't like laser might?" what the heck is lasermite? I use lasermite for salting. I'm sure salting is probably a real term, but this
Probably.
whole thing was so like really fake to me. It was so, and then the conclusion of look at this phone number that is there all of the time. And then Kalinda goes to call, like, why aren't you just calling the number that is there?
Well,
Why are you call? Did
I
I miss that?
I think what it was is that this was her old address. So this is the
Oh, the Stan's Chicken Shack by her old
yeah.
address. Yeah.
So we have affirmed that she loves Stan's Chicken Shack, which I guess Kalinda does too, because she just looks at the numbers like
She
that's Stan's Chicken Shack. Like I would just love to
And
cut.
specifically that one, that
Yeah,
same one.
like she knows the number by heart, and I would just love to like go home with Kalinda one day and just see Stan's Chicken Shack, just bags and boxes all over the place, just all over her apartment, which I'm sure she has an apartment. And she like, oh my god, that's Stan's Chicken Shack. I love Stan's. So yeah, this gives an idea for Kalinda of like how to pinpoint the location of Anya.
She's gonna call all the Stan's Chicken Shacks and see again in a way that would not happen and should not happen. Like you, like the store should not give out an address. In
Well, Kalinda did it, was smart and pretended to be the person. I think that would work. I think it would work today. I really did.
I mean it, but it shouldn't. Is my
I
point.
mean, people are dumb. Like, people don't know when they're getting scammed. Like, you know.
Well, speaking of scams, Grace unfortunately is dragged to this event by Jackie. Jackie is really pushing this high society stuff like real hard. And Grace is there. She's just minding her own business, reading her own book. And Jackie's out there telling everyone she's going to join the cotillion. And a boy comes over to talk to Grace. And this guy's not a great tracker in this situation
No, not
because
at all.
he's just like, hey, this is dumb, right? Yeah. Also, are your parents still sleeping in separate beds?
It's like, hey, just cause. Tell me all your deepest, darkest secrets. Like,
Yeah. And oh, that's my friend Steven. He's in film school. But seriously, are your parents still sleeping in separate rooms? Like, I really need to know. This person that you've just met really needs to know this information. So great. It's pretty obvious to Grace what's going on
I just
here.
love Grace's face. She's like, what is happening? Like, what is going on? Why are you asking these questions? At least she knows not to fall for it.
Back in court, Alicia has to make another argument about a letter that was involved in this case. I forgot what's the letter
This
about.
gets really muddled from here on out. Like,
Yeah,
things
it's
aren't very
like just
clear in this
another
case.
instance where Alicia has to like save Mr. Sally and say like, hey, don't include this in the argument because we don't have the actual letter. And this really pisses Childs off because he's like, they are winning with like no argument. So he takes Matan and Carrie out into the hallway and really only cares if Carrie can beat Alicia and just asks flat out, can you beat her? And he says, what do you think Carrie's going to say? No.
Yeah, of course. What do you mean? Can I beat her? He does like, I mean, we just got dealt a pretty bad hand in there. Giles like, can you beat her or not? He's like, yeah, definitely, sure.
Well, and Matan's like, that's not how you make friends.
Oh my gosh,
here.
Matan
Like,
is so whiny. He's following Child of the Court's like, but don't do this. This is my case. This is mine. Don't make Carrie first chair. It's my case. Like, he really is very whiny about this. Like, right,
he is very whiny. But Carrie does take advantage of his situation, and we see he's bringing the Riz, as the kids would say, to the situation because he's questioning the same expert witness that testified that the blood type of sample 48 was not the blood of Mr. Sally. And so he's like, hey, are you ready to do this again? Like, let me just like warm you up here.
You ready to do this, man? Well, you ready to do that? And listen, hats off to Carrie.
Hats off.
I will give Carrie his credit when Carrie's credit is due. He really did the damn thing here.
Yeah, he found out basically that Mr. Sally here has lupus. And apparently, when you take lupus or stop taking your medication, it can change your blood type, whether you're taking medication or not taking your medication. I was unaware of this, but Carrie knew, and so he does his best work in getting the expert witness to say, like, so it is possible that someone could have type O blood and then stop taking their medication and have B negative blood.
Well, it's not just that though. It's the fact that they did
DNA.
Yeah, they did a DNA test and it matched to Mr. Sally. So that blood is definitely his blood. So
Yeah.
in a way, Alicia and Sally here kind of hoist themselves their own petard, because without that, they wouldn't have had the blood tested unless Alicia insisted on the blood on the blood possibly not being Sally's. So they kind of hurt themselves here. And of course,
I
Carrie takes a shot that, he's like, it's like, you mean this evidence that Miss Floric insisted getting into evidence? Like, all right, Carrie, we get it.
season
You
of losing.
you got a point. We got you. Like you did something right. Good job, freaking Carrie.
He's gonna take his shots when he gets them. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. Kalinda is on her search to find Anya. She finds Anya after her Stan's chicken investigation, and Anya is like really paranoid. Like she's like legit concerned about everything around her being some sort of government situation, even strollers. Like she's really, really there. And so she's like, I will, like, if you pull me onto the stand, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to plead the fifth.
This is a straight.
Go ahead.
This is straight comedy. This is just straight fun. It's just like,
yeah,
like as if that's a real baby. Like we don't get like this much like just broad comedy outright on The Good Wife. And listen, those of you that watch the episode, you might notice this Anya person is someone that after the. I mean, she's not famous yet when this comes out. When this pops in. But this is the mother, y'all. This is Christine Milioti, who played the titular mother in How I Met Your Mother. So listen, she wasn't anyone when this happened, but when I watched, it's like, oh my god, that's the mother. That's her.
Watch for a yellow umbrella.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was like, okay, I understand she's not famous yet, so it wasn't a big deal back then, but it was interesting.
This fact that Anya's only going to plead the fifth really does worry Alicia. She's like, well, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And who comes in? Who comes in to give advice to Alicia about this? None other than Will. And where are his feet, Jason?
His feet towards Alicia.
Moving towards Alicia. So she's so happy about it. But his thing is use Anya as like pleading of the fifth in your advantage here. Like you can make it work.
Just couldn't help but mansplain. He's like, I'm mad at you. I'm not talking to you right now, but I will talk to you to mansplain you about what you should do here.
Yeah. Don't let a mansplaining go to waste is his motto. Speaking of like mansplaining, and I don't know, Will is sitting in court when Alicia goes to put this strategy into motion here. So he's like wanting to watch this all come to fruition. And then who shows up right behind him? None other than Peter. And there's this quick exit by Will here.
He's like, oh shit, let me go.
I gotta go.
Let me leave. This is awkward. This is weird. Yeah, I mean, Will's so weird. He's like, I'm gonna go watch my pretend boo thing work this strategy that I gave her. Like, okay, well, cool.
Yeah, like I'm not going to talk to her, but I will stalk her from a distance.
I like how, I like how Will got to go. Peter's like, you leaving? You have to leave now. Like, you're leaving now. Like, Peter, we talked about a little bit when Will came to visit the Floric household after Alicia and Peter did the deed again. But Peter, I think, is still on his high horse about winning.
Oh, for sure.
Between him and Will. He's like, leaving so soon there, Will? Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Made you uncomfortable today? Yeah. So fun.
Well, before he leaves, it's like, this should be something to see or something like that. Like, he's like, you're in for something good. So to no surprise, Anya pleads the fifth. But then, to my surprise, and like everyone in the court's surprise, the judge like is questioning this woman as to why she is pleading the fifth and will not stop. And to which Alicia is like, yo, that's not cool. Like, you cannot do this. This is her right. And then the judge tells Alicia to quote unquote, shut up. Ooh. I was like, what is happening? Man. What is going on? Alicia very, very badassly says, no, I will not shut up. And if you keep going, I will report you. And he's like, well, I'll put you in contempt. It was just like, go ahead.
I'll report you again,
like,
bro.
Yeah.
Like, you're not, like, I'm not going to, like, he really like tried to go at Alicia. Alicia's like, bring it on. She called his bluff and he was just like, damn. Like, he basically gets caught with his pants down, like acting like a dick. And it's like, all right, well, guess we'll adjourn until tomorrow. Like he doesn't really concede to Alicia, but he does kind of by just being like, see everybody tomorrow. Bye. Like
Well,
we're gonna
and
pretend like this didn't happen.
Peter is like on the edge
Oh
of his
boy.
seat. He is, well, and at the edge of other things. He
Ooh.
is like ready to go. And when Alicia gets home, all the poor woman wants to do is brush her teeth. Okay. She wants
Yeah.
to brush her teeth. She's listening to All Things Considered on NPR, locally WBEZ. So that was a fun little shout out. But she just wants to like go get her day on. And Peter's like, no, I'm so turned on right now.
Yo,
Let's do this.
the way that Peter skulked into the room, I was like, ugh, this is like predator behavior. This is
Yeah.
weird. He came in there on a mission. And the way just I don't know if this was a directing choice or a thing, but the way that he approached and like walked in was kind of menacing. I was like, this is weird.
Well,
I don't like
and
this
I think
feeling.
it's taking a lot of liberty thinking that she trusts him that much to be able to just like pick her up and put
Ugh.
her on the sink and like do what he does to her, because like there can be relationships where that is like part of the thing, but this relationship is not at a point, at least from what we've seen, where Alicia, like I don't even think sex is something that Alicia is signaling to Peter that she's interested in and that she wants, and at
Yeah.
least post I've been worked up from Will. So,
Right.
but you
There is a
know,
concerning lack of audible consent on Alicia's part.
yes,
And I think it's viewed a certain way in 2011
yes.
that it's not viewed here in 2024.
Well, 'cause she says like, "What are you up to?" And
Yeah.
I'm like, that is something that I don't think,
And it's not in a
like
sexy
you
way.
said,
It's not in a sexy way. It's
no,
like, what's going on? What are you doing?
yeah.
And then what
And
happens.
she says, I gotta go. Like, I don't want this. And he's like, well, I'll do something then. And
Yeah.
he goes down on her, and she just kind of like lets it happen. She does turn off the lights, which makes me think she's always thinking of
Your
Will, but
will
that's my
tonight.
own
Your will again.
like my
um
thing. But
yeah,
it was really uncomfortable.
it was very uncomfortable. I think it's tough because you have to think about this in 2011 lens, right? Like
Yeah.
this in a certain context could be like, oh my, like I'm sure that there were a lot of people at home in 2011 going like, oh my gosh, like this, it's getting steamy in here. But for me,
Yes.
but for
What are you
me and my
doing?
yeah, but for me and my 2024 eyes, it's just like,
Yeah.
man, this is uncomfortable because at no point does it look like Alicia is really that into it. And then
Nor
it's
does it sound like it. Like she doesn't say like,
by
okay.
the end, I think it was okay. Like I think she was down, but was she enthusiastically down? Like it was just like it was icky. Like that's the word I'll give. It was
It
icky
was icky.
in my eyes. And but I don't think that was the intention of the scene. I don't think that was the intention of the Kings or whatever in the moment. But again, it's just like 14 or so years later, it's like,
Yeah.
ugh,
It's a
it looks
victim of
bad.
the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks bad. It looks weird from our vantage right now.
Yeah.
But I think it's I think coming out of this, we're supposed to be like, oh man, like they're this is a step in the right direction for the relationship. They're having sex again, but it didn't hit right for me in this time period
She
right now.
just wanted to listen to All Things Considered on
Yeah,
NPR.
yeah.
Like, okay, that's all she wanted to do.
But
Yeah.
Pete's like,
Well,
wolf. It's like a wolfy like grin, like I am. You got me worked up, girl. Like,
ugh.
yeesh.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what we think of future scenes like
Yeah,
between multiple people. But Carrie is back in the courtroom. He's out in cloud nine. He thinks he's got this whole thing wrapped up. Meanwhile, Blake is by the Chicago River somewhere hanging out, calls Kalinda and says, yo, the cops have the gun. You have like 3 minutes before this gets to the court. So Alicia pulls basically like a great football play and is like, defense rests, we're closing,
Yep.
we're closing the situation because no new evidence can be, put into the case after the defense rests. And Carrie's like, I'm not ready. I don't know. I can't. I'm not ready for closing arguments. And the judge is like, well,
listen,
sorry to be you, bro.
Magic wants this thing over and done with now. Magic has shown his ass, and he just wants this over with. So he's like, nope, too late. Like, it's over.
Yeah, I'm not going to give myself or Alicia any more opportunities to get me in trouble, basically.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, and Matan is like, we have this new evidence. We have to, we must interrupt. We must. And he's like, no.
Nope.
So they break, and a deal for 5 years ends up coming to Mr. Solly, and Alicia basically is like, yo, I know you did this. Like, you have to take this.
Solly was like, he's like, when Alicia tries to arrest him, he's like, but we haven't refuted the blood evidence. She's like, listen up. Like, you want to rest this case. Like,
isn't it funny how the gun just like appeared at that time? The government has such good timing. First of all, if the government had that much good timing, we would not have to go through what we have to go through to pay our taxes. Like, that's the thing. But he doesn't want to take the deal. She ends up convincing him to take the deal. And then this episode just kind of like ends in a really weird place for me. It's just like, it's not like a weird, it just kind of ends like after this. She's back in the office. Blake comes in. He's like, not Blake, Bond comes in and says, yo, did he take the deal? And she's like, yeah, great. I'm your new mentor. Bye.
Yeah.
It was just a weird, abrupt ending.
I'm very intrigued to see the relationship between Derek and Alicia. I'm not sure if it's going to be weirdly sexually tensiony or what.
I don't know if it's going to be that or if it's going to pull on Alicia's like moral question of what is my job and what is law, because it seems like he's taking, like, he has a very methodical approach of create a strategy, do the strategy, do the thing. But like Will and Diane are much more like, go walk up against that line as much as you possibly can and do whatever you need to do to get that done. And I don't know if Bond has that same mentality, and so that's where I could see some friction happening. If there is, I don't think I can. I can't even remember, but I cannot handle if there's a freaking triangle between. I don't know. Would it be a square? It'd be a square at this point.
But yeah, it was so interesting because when Bond brought up we should do a mentorship program, Will's like, kind of already do that, just like. Not very. Like, it's kind of passive. Like we don't.
It's casual.
We don't give it a name. It's just kind of is. He's like, well, I think we should actually like make it a thing. So I'm sure Alicia was surprised. Like, you're gonna be my mentor? Like, it's like what now?
Well, yeah. Like, had the memo even gone out to say like we are gonna have mentors now, and this is like what we do? No.
Bond has taken some sort of interest in Alicia. I don't know what the interest will be.
I wonder if he picks up on the vibes between her and Will and just wants to like stop it. I honestly cannot remember.
I really don't. I was just as surprised as anyone else may have been to see Michael Ealy in this office. I was like, what the hell? Like, when did this happen? Like, did I not see season 2? But I know I did. I was like, weird. But I mean, we do get some bro bonding time with Derek and Will at the very end of the episode.
We do. Where it's like, yeah, I have a basketball team. You want to play a lunch league? It's like Derek's like, you can't handle Baltimore blood. Like, it's okay.
Which is funny because Josh Charles, who plays Will, is from Baltimore. Huh? Real funny. But yeah, then we get Diane's just reflection in the door, like, they're bonding without me.
Boys club.
This isn't good.
Yeah. So that's how we get into season 2. There's a lot of weird setup stuff happening. Again, we have a case that doesn't really have a lot of substance to it. It's just these little vignettes and these little moments. But it seems like
it was kind of a vehicle for us to get the Alicia v Carrie, for us to get the, the Childs v Carrie type of the v Alicia type of thing. So it was not consequential. It wasn't really a special case. Wasn't one of our best. Give it that. But listen, and I'm wondering if we're going to feel like the show's getting a little too crowded, right? Like we're getting a lot of new blood in here. Is it going to feel a little tight in the episodes?
Well, I feel like there's definitely there's got to be a shift because it's no longer Alicia against Carrie. So in the court, we don't need to be in the courtroom as much to see what's going on with those two. But we do have things going on in the firm. We do have the election. We do have those things. So I think it'll be interesting to see how they sort out the direction of the season because I feel like it has to be a little bit different than season 1.
Yeah, I'm just a little worried that the show would veer off into a course that some other shows do, where we're like, all right, we were a hit season 1. They want this. Let's give them more, and more ends up becoming less. Listen, I don't ever remember not liking the show, so I don't think I have too much to worry about. But I'm very, very intrigued to see where we're going from here.
Same here. I'm glad we get to talk about it.
Yeah, 100%. So this one's done and dusted. Marissa, do you want to tell the good people where they can find you and what you're up to right now?
Sure. Hello, good people. You can find me on Instagram and Threads at It's Me, Marissa G. Usually I have some sort of project going on there. If you check in the place, I've been told if you say the words link in bio, your content can get suppressed. So let me say what all the cool kids say. If you look in the place with the stuff in the things, you can find what I'm up to.
Very nice. Very nice.
What about you?
If you want to go on the cesspool, that is Twitter. I am there at JAYR1085. As far as podcasting goes, recently wrapped up Love is Blind Season 7. So check me out there on the Rob Has Podcast Network on the Love at First Sight feed if you want my thoughts on Season 7 of Love is Blind. Right now, we are also doing Married at First Sight over there on the Perfect Match podcast with me and my co-host Asia Welch. Anything else I got going on will be, advertised on my Twitter, so check me out there. I'm always having some sort of different stuff I'm popping up on.
Oh, yeah, we're also Elsbething.
Yeah, we're Elsbething right now, so check us out there alongside this Good Wife rewatch. We're doing Elsbeth, so there's so much going on right now. If you want to see me, Marissa, listen to us, there's so many ways to do it. But until next week, stay good.